Hi, I'm Jocelyn. Welcome to Fast Easy Vegan once again. Today, as usual, we're working in the cookbook Fast Easy Vegan on page 261, which gives us tomatillos, black beans, and rice. It's great. How many of you are familiar with tomatillos and how to use them? My use of them is very limited. I usually use it just in making salsas, for which they're indispensable. But this dish incorporates them as tomatillos, not tomatillo sauce. So let me show you what they are. They are these papery kind of tomatoes, and they come in all sizes from like the size of a cherry to this big. And you take the paper off and they look like green tomatoes, but they're sticky. So we're gonna wash some of that sticky off before we use them. And we're going to, obviously we're gonna peel them all off, okay? But that's a step for later. For right now, what we're looking at, instead of doing a burrito bowl, we're gonna mix everything up together and cook it all at once. I've pre-cooked a couple of cups of brown rice. So I'm gonna start with an onion that I'm gonna chop up, and we're gonna saute the onion along with some garlic and get that rolling. That's kind of always the first place to start. Just softening those onions a little. It doesn't caramelize them, but it does bring out the sweetness in them. And of course, being oil-free, we're just gonna throw them in the pan like that. People think it's such a mystery cooking without oil, but it's simple. You just don't put it in. I mean, really nothing could be simpler than that, right? All right, let me just chop up these garlics a little. We're calling for 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. And the recipe calls for only 2 peppers, but these are jalapenos. I kind of left them on the vine too long, so the red ones are not as hot as the green ones, so I'm putting in more. So turning on the stove to just give our onions a bit of a head start. And while we're doing that, I'm going to chop my jalapenos. Now, I'm sure you know that the heat in a chili is in the seeds and the membranes. And if you want it hot, you keep them in. So I am. Oh, we don't need to fry those actually. And I'm just going to use the 2 because I can put hot sauce later if it's not hot enough for me. Okay, let me give these onions a stir. Got our trusty water bottle so we can squeeze a few bits in there if we need to. We're going to squeeze some lime at the end. Might as well cut it open now, right? And what did I do with my tomatillos? Seriously? Oh, right in front of me. Figured they were somewhere close at hand. Ah. All right. Let's get these kids going here. Okay, tomatillos are cleaned and husked and ready to be chopped and put in the pan. Chop them any way you want. There's no particular way to do this that's correct or incorrect, just kind of bite-sized. Tomatillo Tomatillos are a little sour, unlike tomatoes, which are sort of acidic, but also quite sweet in their way. Ew, dropping things, that's what I'm famous for. Okay. Now it calls for a pound of tomatillos. I did not have quite a pound, but close to it, so that's good enough. And I've seen purple tomatillos. I've seen them tiny, tiny, tiny. They all taste the same. Okay, tomatillos done. We also want to throw in the tomatoes. I like diced tomatoes. And now we can put in the peppers, the jalapenos. The recipe calls for 2, but obviously it's to taste. We've got a teaspoon of cumin here. Or is it half a teaspoon? It's half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of oregano, a can of these little green chilies. It comes in 4-ounce or 7-ounce cans, and it's very mild, but so it doesn't give you any heat, but it's got a wonderful chili flavor. So it's an important ingredient. Don't leave that out. And also, it gives you that chili flavor without the heat. So if you love Mexican food but you don't like spice, you're gonna like that. 1 can of black beans, or actually any kind of beans you like, but black beans are kind of traditional here. Black beans and pinto beans. And when that's cooked down, we're going to put in our 2 cups of pre-cooked rice. And once it's completely done and taken off the heat, we're going to chop up our cilantro and mix that in. And then we're ready to serve. So, see you in a few. It's been not quite 10 minutes and we have dinner pretty much ready. Isn't that nice? Dinner so quickly. The only thing that I did really ahead of time was make the rice. And so if you like this dish, next time you make rice, make a double batch, and then the rice will be ready for you, and then all you have to do is toss everything in. Look how stewy and soupy that looks now. It was about 8 minutes for the tomatillos to kind of get soft and break down a bit. And this rice that I made this morning, nice and gluey. And that'll soak up all that saucy business. And we're gonna stir that up, incorporate it, and then we're ready to serve, pretty much. The cilantro here, cilantro, it's one of my favorite flavors, and some people absolutely can't tolerate it. And I can relate to that, because I used to be that way too. And then one day, I was eating a burrito somewhere, and there was cilantro in it, and it was so delicious I couldn't even believe it. So isn't that weird? My taste buds just flipped on me there. And you can use the stems and everything, unlike parsley that you really can't use the stems. They're bitter and awful. Cilantro is just pure fabulousness all the way through. Okay, so I've incorporated the rice, and we have a beautiful Mexican bowl of rice and beans and tomatillos, spices, and cilantro, a whole big bunch of it. So, ooh, I can feel a sneeze coming on. Excuse me ahead of time. Excuse me. Allergies. Oh. And not only are the ingredients delicious and work so well together, it's really kind of beautiful to look at too. Each of these ingredients is equally important, so don't cheat yourself by omitting anything. And there is dinner. Isn't that gorgeous looking? I can't wait. I gotta go eat. See you guys next time. Bye.